Dragon Ball fans rejoice, we have some DAIMA leaks courtesy of Geekdom 101, as well as some new news on DBZ Kakarot DLC. It's more likely than you think. First, let's tackle the DAIMA of it all. That's right, Geekdom 101 has released a new video going over what he reports are new Dragon Ball DAIMA leaks, spoilers, however you want to say it. Now keep in mind, this is coming from Geekdom 101, who has been reliable in the past. He has, let's just take a look at his Dragon Ball Magic leaks. Those were pretty accurate. And he was saying some things that nobody else was saying at the time, and those came out to be true in the trailers and things. So, like I said, take it with a grain of salt, but he does seem to be reliable. And he did have some brand new information. So, does anybody else remember how Toriyama brought back Frieza? He brought back Cell in a way. It looks like he may be bringing back a version of Majin Buu in a way as well. Not exactly Majin Buu, it's more of a Cell way that he brought Cell back. He might be bringing Majin Buu back in a similar way. Again, not the Majin Buu, but basically a clone. So, let's just get into the main stuff from Geekdom 101's latest video. Again, I will be linking it in the description for you to check out for yourself, but just as a condensed version of everything he said. Does anybody else remember in the Buu saga when Deborah was recruited under Babidi to fight for him? Of course, Deborah got took out by Majin Buu whenever Majin Buu was revived. Remember, Deborah was the king of the Demon Realm. Now, if you're a Dragon Ball Heroes fan, you're familiar with the Demon Realm, but that's not canon. That's Dragon Ball Heroes canon. Toriyama's Demon Realm hasn't really been explored all that much. We only got one quick glimpse of it in the Buu arc whenever Deborah was fighting Gohan, and they kind of shifted the battleground to the Demon Realm. It was just a small section. And now that Deborah is dead, the throne of the Demon Realm is empty. There has to be a new Demon King. So according to Geekdom 101, the short guy in the trailer is going to be trying to claim Deborah's throne, which is empty after his death. And as you could see in the trailer, there were a bunch of panels from the Dragon Ball Z Buu saga. So that makes sense. This is probably just a guy just going over all the records and things like that, similar to how we saw with the Red Ribbon Army going over the Z fighters and the footage with Frieza and everything like that. You know, this is common, and this is something that Toriyama was doing with the superhero movie. So that's interesting that he's doing that here as well. It also appears that multiple demon factions will be fighting for the throne, so it's not just going to be the short guy. There are going to be multiple villains, which we saw in the trailer. Goku was fighting multiple villains in like a bar type setting and guards and stuff. So that could just be like different factions of demons trying to take power. It also looks like that they're going to try to create a Majin of Buu, a clone of Majin Buu. It appears that there's going to be some sort of Majin Buu character. Geekdom said he hasn't seen any art of this yet, so we don't know how Majin Buu it is, but it's basically that same general idea. He also said that Goku and Supreme Kai may be used as a pawn to fight against the other demons by other demon factions, which I guess that's cool. That makes sense because, you have young Goku and Supreme Kai who really have no clue what's going on and why they're turned into children. So they'll be on a search for answers, and that will be an opportunity for the demons to kind of trick them. We actually saw something similar with the Moro arc, not the Moro arc, the Granola arc, whenever the Heaters were tricking Goku and Vegeta. So, it's just some Toriyama tropes that he's using lately that I really enjoy. And of course, now that he's gone, this is going to be like the last animated thing that he was involved with for sure. 100% is his baby. So I'm very excited for it. Now, on top of that is, again, I will remind you that the Dragon Ball Heroes Demon Realm is not canon, so don't be expecting like the Mikao Shin from Dragon Ball Heroes to play a role. This is all brand new stuff, and I'm pretty excited for it. Speaking of excited for it, let's get into the DBZ Kakarot DLC news. And I say news because it's more likely than you think. This is a little bit more speculative, or is it? So, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, out of nowhere, released a new mission for Hercule called Legendary Super Satan. I do say Hercule at times, that is the English dub name. Mr. Satan is the Japanese name. But basically what was going on in the DLC was well, I say DLC, it was just a mission, but basically what happened was Hercule was wanting to impress his daughter Videl because he thinks that she's no longer impressed by him and doesn't want to spend time with him, and thinks basically he's just a fraud and good at nothing. And Majin Buu isn't really interested in hanging out with him at the time, so what he decides to do is, in order to impress Videl, he dyes his hair blonde, he has Majin Buu levitate him, and he has Gohan fire ki blasts for him. And then, of course, you have your regular DBZ Kakarot quest design where you just gather materials and then you have a little fight with robots. And then by the end of it, Videl's like, "Dad, I love you, man." And then Hercule's like, "Alright, cool." And then we actually have a scene of Videl figuring out that it was Gohan the whole time, right? So just a simple, small sub-quest, nothing major. But what was interesting was, out of nowhere, they added this legendary Super Satan quest. So I think that's a hint that we're going to be getting the legendary Super Saiyan Broly DLC. Now you may be wondering, how do you come to this conclusion? Well, the quest is called Legendary Super Satan, and it's coming out of nowhere. I don't think this is a reference to Goku. I think this is a reference to Broly, because when you look at the DLC that they've released, it's always been DBZ. And if they're teasing another DLC, it's got to be DBZ Broly. We know they probably can't use Dragon Ball Super content because everything that they've released has to do with Dragon Ball Z. You look at DBZ, Battle of Gods, or Resurrection F, some people relate that with Super, which I understand if you do, but technically it's from the DBZ movies. You look at Bardock or Trunks and things like that, it really should make it clear at the end of Z that it's mainly Z content. The only thing that throws a wrinkle into this is the Dragon Ball World Tournament saga at the end of the original Dragon Ball anime. But again, that could just be a situation where Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z are one product in Japan, so they consider them the same thing. So maybe with some sort of licensing thing, they're allowed to use OG Dragon Ball content, where they're not allowed to use Dragon Ball Super content. But I do think that the legendary Super Satan quest added out of nowhere, we know that they're going to be releasing new DLC. They've talked about how DBZ Kakarot is their DLC focus. Well, one of their DLC focuses. I think the DBZ Broly DLC could be coming sooner than we think. And guys, if you're excited for San Diego Comic-Con later this month, they are going to have a Dragon Ball panel. I would not be surprised if we see some DBZ Kakarot DLC reveal of Broly. I definitely think we're going to be getting Dragon Ball DAIMA, we're going to be getting Dragon Ball Sparking Zero news, and we're going to be getting some Xenoverse 2 DLC news, I'm pretty sure. Although it may be too soon after the last DLC pack for Xenoverse 2 release for there to be news about it. But anyways, guys, now is an exciting time to be a Dragon Ball fan. I told you guys, this later half of 2024 is about to pop off. It's really exciting, and I'm really stoked about it, guys. Anyways, guys, that will be it for this video. If you enjoyed, make sure you leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe for all things Dragon Ball news and commentary, and I will see you in the next one. Peace off.